All right, for the guide plate lesson 2, we're going to finish constructing the object and then dimension it properly. So what we have here is you'll notice that it's 0.0 or 0.5. So our dimensions here are at the thousandths, I think. So what we need to do is change that. And so there's many different ways to do it, but the easiest way right now is to select it, right click on it, and hit Properties. All right, so I selected the dimensions, and you'll notice this sea of information come in there. And I can also go to Modify, and you'll hit Properties, right? And so that Properties lets you do things individually. It's not the best way to do things, and I'll show you that in some subsequent chapters, but all you do is go ahead and select the dimension, and then I'm going to come down and I'm looking for the precision, and there it is. So I can just manually change that. And so you want to try to replicate what the textbook has, right? So what I'm going to do though is, instead of doing one at a time, I can go ahead and use my mouse and select all the dimensions, right? So if I drag it from the right to the left, it selects everything. And you don't want to get the lines though, just the dimensions. And then I'll go ahead and hit Modify, Properties, and we'll do the precision. All right, so select the precision, and there you go. Okay, and so it did all of them to the tenths. And so the other thing you're going to notice is, boy, that part line is always going to be darker than the dimensions. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Escape. All right, and if I hit Escape, that'll kill all this right now, so you want to do that. And then what I want to do is select the line. So for example, let's go ahead and select any line, and I'll show you the same exact thing. Right click on it and hit Properties, or go up to the Modify on the tab and hit Properties, and you're going to see something that says line weight. So you want to put it, this is in millimeter, we're going to do it at 0.5, all right? And so you're going to have to try this, but what you want to do, right now nothing has happened, right? So if you come down to the right, make sure that the line weight tab is selected, and then you turn it on. This is the line. And so on the bar below, it's these 3 horizontal lines, and you select it, and that turns it on. All right, and so then I'll right click on it or hit Properties, and I'll do the exact same thing. So I'm going to go line weight, and I'm going to select 0.5. And you do need to do this and try it out on your own, depending on printers and what the output is. But this seems to work pretty well. Sometimes it could be a little overkill. So 0.5. All right, and so this all looks pretty good. So you should always inspect it before you're done. But right now, what I need to do is we want to go ahead and title this and put our name on this. So I'm going to center this. And I can go to text. There's an icon up here. There's a couple different ways of doing it. So I go to multi-line. And so I'm just going to put the text in the bottom here. And it works differently than when just manually typing in text. So it defaults the size. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and type in chapter 1. And you want to do these on all the exercises. You want to write what chapter it is and then the title of it. And this is the guide plate. So chapter 1. The guide plate. And you'll notice that the text is pretty small. We're going to fix that in Properties in a minute. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and put your name in there. And so you don't want to put my name, you want to put your name in there. Okay, so then you need to click out of it. It's a little tricky. You click out of it with your mouse, and then you hit Escape. You got to click it first, all right? And so I'm going to go ahead and reselect it, and I'm going to go back to the Properties, and you'll notice this is where you can fine tune it, right? And you're going to see where it says text height. And you want to play around with this. One is actually probably a little too big, but that's fine. And then I can go back and double click on it and then just backspace that, right? And so I'm essentially done with this. So I need to save it, and I need to print it, and I need to upload it, all right? So inspect it, make sure it looks like the book. That is the gold standard. And then let's go ahead and save this and print it. So we'll go up here and say Save As. Make sure you're putting this in a place that you can easily access it, and you're going to save it as a DWG file. And then what we're going to do is we're going to print this, and we're going to actually print it as a PDF file. Now in AutoCAD, you don't print, you actually plot, but it's the same thing here. So we'll go up here and to this little icon, and we're going to select the AutoCAD PDF in the high resolution. And then I'm going to select window. All right. And so I'm going to take this window, I'm going to draw it around the object. And before I print it, I'm going to center it, and then I'm going to hit preview. If this seems like a lot of information, it's very redundant. We do this a lot. So you're going to see this is because this is the student version. You have these weird things, but that's okay. And then I'll print it. And again, you want to make sure you're putting it in a place that you can access it. So I'll save it. So I have a PDF file and a DWG file. All right, so now it's not done until you upload it, right? So I've inspected it, it looks good. So I'm going to go to my learning management system. I'm going to select on, it says 10 points here, if you see that, the guide plate. And I'm going to go ahead and just do what I do here. You're going to choose the file, and you're going to upload the AutoCAD file. And this is actually more for you. I really only look at the PDF. We have it there just in case you lose it. So you want to put both. Add another file here. I'll choose the file, and this will be the PDF. And so once that's in and you submit the assignment, you are done. And so you have completed the guide plate in Chapter 1.